Okay, I think we're live. Hello, welcome to Tuesday. Definitely on time, as always. We're always on time on this channel, never late. Let's see. Would it be a Tracy live stream? There wasn't a little bit of delay starting. Okay, I'll wait a minute for confirmation that things are working. Yes, you are. Hurrah! Did it. So I think I tried to get a little too fancy with the live stream stuff. I was trying to stream to Twitch also. That's what all the cool people do. I will figure that one out though. So theoretically, you're supposed to like stream to that one. Heck, y'all aren't interested in these things. Okay. I have the grogginess happening. So, hi Mary, hi Alice, hi Martha. How are y'all doing? Y'all are funny. Y'all were keeping me entertained while I was getting things set up, so thank you for that. For anyone new here, hi, my name is Tracy Lenz. I'm a petroleum engineer and the founder of Pecan Tree. So we are an oil and gas firm that we do oil and gas evaluations, and we have an online software, a platform where we've done some really cool stuff. I am here to shout it from the rooftops, but we're starting from a very chill post-Christmas live Q&A. This Q&A session is totally open for any question. There are no dumb questions. There might be some questions I ignore, but there's not dumb ones. I'm going to challenge you on that one. Maybe there are. I'm sure there are. But let's see if we can find them today. I won't call you out on it, I promise. I'll be nice. I'm a nice person normally. Like I said, it is post-Christmas, so we have kiddos and all the things happening. Just the normal non-schedule stuff happening. No one's here right now, but like, coffee and caffeine is happening. So I think we got past all of the technical issues, but if we do hit something else, we'll address it then. So I hope everyone's Christmas was great. Mine was amazing. Thank you so much for everyone who participated in that. I hope that you and your families were safe and healthy and happy and blessed and all the things over Christmas. I got some really neat lights for, I think the people who gave me the lighting knew that I'd want to put them in like back here somewhere. So I didn't have a chance to like get that set up before here, but I'm going to be totally nerding out over it later on. So we'll have fun with that later. I did post a little comment. Oh, geez, Mary, watch your language. I don't actually know like what triggers it to bleep out the things I just think is funny. I'm sure it was something absolutely horrible. Hi, Jason O'Brien. How are you? Good to see you again. Okay. Yes, Alice is the crazy one. It comes naturally. Okay, so we're just going to dive into a couple like pre-prompted questions that I get all the time. As I'm answering these questions, feel free to ask any question you want. As I was mentioning, we did put a little pinned chat in the chat. It's in the chat that if you have a question that has personal information that maybe you don't want to have online, this is a recorded broadcast that will be available for replay. Please first keep your sensitive information protected. Please don't post like people's last names and addresses and all those things. Second, if you do have something that would be more private or personal, but is relevant to your question that you think might be helpful, you are welcome to email that to me instead. I will take emails during the live stream as long as you let me know that you did it, so I know to check my email, because it's, not the most entertaining thing if I'm sitting here checking my email during the live stream. So I try not to do that unless I'm told to. So unless I get like a text message or an email or something saying, hey, or you know what I mean, look at my email, I won't see it till afterwards. But if you do see this on the replay and you want to email me a question, this is our method that we allow people to ask these random questions, or really just get on the what questions do you even need to ask, right? This is the starting point for some people. I'm also willing to do any deep dive. If you have a deep dive question and you just want to take advantage of some free airtime that I'm willing to offer, feel free to put in the chat. So I will hit it as I can. Put this over here. I can see the chat a little better. Let's see. Okay. So, okay, first question is, okay, so one question we get is, has what we developed, and by what we developed being our app on pecanestimate.com, is that just another valuation tool? And the reason we get this question a lot is because a lot of times there are valuation tools that, we use one in-house ourselves. Like, we pay a licensing fee to a valuation tool in order to be able to do some of the economic evaluations that we do. So we don't consider ourselves a valuation tool necessarily. We consider ourselves the answer. So because we are taking all of the inputs and running it through our own tools and our own processes and our own assumptions and inputs and all the things that go into knowing how to value something, we're not just taking the value and spitting out an answer, right? This is years and years and years of figuring out what are the important things that go into valuing oil and gas properties. And with oil and gas properties, there's lots of ways to do it. And there's lots of wrong ways to do it also. Most software that's out there, and when I'm thinking like Aries, Peep, Combo Curve, Forecast, just insert blank, right? Excel. Anything that can calculate a stream of numbers and apply a cost to that, and commodity prices, and draw a line, a best fit line through something, any of those things can do a valuation model. The thing that makes us different, which it takes some people time to figure out that we are actually taking it this next step, is that we're not just aggregating all the inputs and providing a blanket output. We're actually taking responsibility for all of the hard questions and all of the hard assumptions, and what risk factor should you be applying to this, and what pricing model should you be using, and what wells should be considered in this particular equation. And that is, I actually can't think of any other valuation model out there that both does the calculations and burdens themselves with the responsibility of presenting the answer. So that's the difference between us and any other valuation tool out there. When we first came out on the scenes, we were compared a lot to a lot of them, and really, like, it's like I welcome that comparison, but we're not competing against them, because honestly, we use them. We have like a couple of them anyway, and it helps us make those assumptions and make those insights in order to put back into our model, and put back into our platform that we're providing publicly to everybody. And that particular access to that public insight is something that's new to the market. And so Yes, this doesn't really exist. It's been hard to explain. I'm making it my mission, my 2026 mission, to get the word out there of what we're actually doing. So thank you for joining us. I will use this as a quick moment of housekeeping. If you were to just go down and like hit the little thumbs up button, that really does help tell the YouTube things that this is helping you and this is worthwhile content and helps get the word out to more people who you think should be hearing this. So I think every mineral owner should have access to this information and this knowledge. I'm a little biased in that one, but if you agree, go ahead and hit that like button, share, tell all your friends. But even that like button itself really does help. Okay. Okay. So another question that I see pop up is, and maybe this is a roundabout question, more an observation sometimes, is what's a mistake that you see beginners make? And by beginners, I mean someone new to minerals, someone who recently inherited, maybe someone who's looking to invest in minerals, or maybe someone who is just curious about the space. Like, what is a common pitfall or a common thing that I'm correcting when I'm talking to even the smartest of clients? Because I think it's one of the best parts of this job, honestly, the amazing people I get to talk to through the diversity of the people who are interested in the oil and gas space, or the diversity of people who end up having oil and gas minerals, is fascinating. I love getting to know each and every one of you. I love hearing the stories. I love hearing your backgrounds. I love hearing your unique perspective on it. And I tell you, it is humbling to give advice to people who I know are leaps and bounds smarter than I am on almost any other topic, right? So I find myself, however, correcting or guiding on a mistake where people tend to take oil and gas as a point in time that is unchangeable, and this is it, and this is the value, and that's that. And because of that mentality, there's a feeling of, if I don't do this thing now, I'm going to miss out, because this is the one time it's going to be worth this one amount, or this is the one offer I'm going to get, or this is the value, and if I miss out on this value, it's gone. Now, one interesting thing about doing a valuation model and running a valuation company is I do see all the things that go into value, and it does change a lot. And I see all the things that move that needle. However, it doesn't move it as fast as you might anticipate. And the offers themselves might fluctuate quickly. Maybe that individual opportunity may come and go quickly, but that foundational value is there because we're acting on like a tangible substance in the ground that is of value. That's not to say that the value can't change quickly, but the things that change the value quickly are often predictable. So when we see a permit filed on the acreage, when we see drilling happening, when we see new production coming in, this is a predictable trend. It's why we're able to have we have a value wave showing where we expect value to start to peak and then where we expect value to start to tail off if you're looking for maximizing like an asset sale or purchasing on the way up or something like that. That's a predictable ramp. when people consider oil and gas minerals, they may think, oh, that's a really, really volatile industry. And it is. I'm not saying that this is not a risky investment. I think that people should definitely know what they're investing in. I think that's actually my number one rule is if you don't understand it, you shouldn't be investing in it. I got that from Dave Ramsey, I believe, is he always has the hey, there's a lot of very interesting things you could invest in, but don't do it if you don't understand it. And I've really benefited from following that advice. I mean, when it comes to oil, like when it comes to investments and like making money in finance, I am not a finance expert. I'm an oil and gas expert. So I know how to apply it to that world, but when it comes to investing in finance, that's where I go to the people who the others, right? There's so many different philosophies, but that's one of them, and it's really worked out well for me. So if you don't understand it, right, that's step one. But once you understand it, and if you don't understand it, don't do anything. Like no action. I guess the root of what I'm trying to say is that there's no hurry to act. There's no rush. It's been in the ground a very long time. It will continue to be in the ground if you don't do anything. And when I see people getting in trouble, it's because they act too quickly. They act too rashly. They make too quick of a decision. They talk to me after they find the buyer, right? They move something around and then talk to their attorney, or they start reading blogs and they start listening to YouTubers and they start seeing all these things that they need to be doing and need to be keeping up with, and they assume that something is happening without them knowing, and then they get flustered, and then they start calling, and then they make things a mess, and then right it's okay, everything's fine. This is a slow moving industry. Now the world moves really quickly with oil and gas. Yes, the news stories make things fluctuate up and down daily, right? But that's not going to drive the long-term value of the assets that we're talking about. I don't think anyone here watching this is a day trader of oil and gas. Those are the people who should be watching the news stories. We're looking at like legacy assets, asset management, something more akin to like a home investing in a second house or something like that. Like you're not buying and selling them every other day unless that's like what you do for a living, in which case you know who you are. This is not for you. That's probably the number one mistake I see beginners make. Martha, you say Mary and I got mineral rights sort of dropped on us. That's extremely typical. So we've been trying to learn. I commend y'all for trying to learn. Excellent job. Plus, y'all are fun to talk to. I appreciate y'all being here just from the nature of that alone. So if you have more family members, y'all all seem to be pretty nice to talk to. Yeah, no, happy to help educate, because I really do think that the more you know about the assets themselves, the more they become less scary. They become more understandable. That transparency gives you so much leverage, and knowing that, oh, hey, this dropped production, that's not the well dying forever. Like even just little things like that. I get a lot of questions of like, oh, I didn't get production last month. Is it done? Is it completely toast? When, there was just this late filing or something, or it was, or there was a new well coming online, or they just did a workover on the well and there was just a 1 month gap in production or something. These wells don't typically die like just overnight. And if they do die overnight, the remaining amount of oil and gas in the ground still has value. And so there has to be not enough oil and gas left in that ground for that well to recover, to pay to fix the well, for them to just like abandon it. So you'd have to be pretty late in life of that well for it to just be gone. completely. And I know that when you're new to this, you don't have that context of even like what early or late is. That's what we're trying to provide through our platform. Hey, this is a late life well, this is the early life well, like those type of things. We're trying to help you get that context, but without that, just things don't move as quickly as some people might make you want to believe. So that was my TED talk on mistakes I see. What I think the original question was, what's one mistake I see beginners make? And I'm pretty sure I put like 4 in there, but y'all get the gist of it. So I don't know if I can't remember. So for like 30 seconds I didn't hit the little go live button, but I did get a new coffee mug. Let's see if this fills in. Caffeine, respect the chemistry. I thought that was adorable and perfect for me. So I actually have tea in it. Maybe it's a tea mug today. Okay. What else do we have? I have some more questions here. But again, if y'all have things you want me to handle. Oh, wait. I think, Martha Mary, did I see some questions earlier on taxes? I think I did. Okay. Since this is our first year, let's see, does this work? Aha, I found it. Since this is our first year being NPRIs, does Intero send K1 and 1099s at the end of the year? I assume the 30% of deductions are deductible from our taxable income. This is getting a little more into talk to a tax advisor type of a scenario. If there is a tax expert in the chat, well, happy to hear your opinion on that. They will send out the 1099s at the end of the year. I imagine in the next week or two, you'd probably start getting them, especially if you have get your statements through EnergyLink. That usually happens pretty quickly. 30%. So there is so the deductions, are you talking about the like post-production costs, or are you talking about like DD&A? There is I think a 15, and don't quote me on this. This is just, I'm leading you the right direction to Google or to ask your attorney or ask your CPA. There is a minimum required depletion allowance, and then that is deductible. So you have a depleting asset, and so you're receiving your income, right? That's just like checks coming to you, you owe taxes on it because it's miscellaneous income. But at the same time, you have a asset that is becoming less and less valuable as you receive those incomes. So in a sense, you're really just realizing something you already had. So you get a deduction on that. You don't have to pay taxes on all of it. And typically most mineral owners end up taking the percentage depletion deduction. There is another method which requires a reserve report. If you are watching this and you are an expert in reserve report related depletion calculations, the last time I did those calculations, I was working for an oil and gas operator who had tax experts like in-house to do those things. I would love to be able to offer that for mineral owners, and I think we're really close to that because our platform does 3P reserves. Our platform does full, like our value that we have on every acre in the country already has 3P reserves by reservoir, by well. Surely we can do something better than a percentage depletion for owners that are in our platform at least. So I'd love to talk to a tax expert on that. It's on my list of things to do. So if you're watching this and you are a tax expert, send me a note. I'd love to talk to you. So you say the deductions that show on the check stub. Yeah, that's okay. I think that you do. I mean, that's just like any other expense that you have to pay. With oil and gas, a lot of times people get into the working interest side of oil and gas because all of those expenses and capital help offset, right? The different taxable things. That's definitely getting outside of my level of expertise. Actually, everything that y'all hear on these live streams is a random person on the internet talking to you and just giving you friendly advice. So take it with that level of seniority, expertise, because I have not formally engaged with anyone watching this that I know of to be your engineer, but I would love to if you comment or send us a message. But yeah, this is all just chit chat, free chit chat. Okay. Let's see. Did I get that? Yeah. So I do have. This is completely unrelated, but I do have a crystal cam. She abandoned me when the live stream started, but I wonder if she'd come back and say hi. Nope, she's not interested. But I do have a crystal cam, so when she does eventually lay down, y'all can have something cute to actually look at finally. Okay. What I have other questions here, but let me again, feel free to put more in the comments. I'm reading through my list here. Okay. Since y'all are here, y'all get a sneak peek at one of our new features. We do have a new feature. It is Hello Manor. How are you? Sorry, all y'all other people. This is my favorite commenter. Most of the time. I may or may not be married to him. So we do have a very sneak peek at a new feature. Let me see if do I have access to it? It's like cutting edge new feature. If I can get it working. Okay. Yes, it is kind of working. So this is just going to be a preview. It's not rolled out yet, but just as a, hey, y'all are here, you get to see the latest and greatest. Oh, hey, look. We have a crystal. Let's see if this, y'all got a crystal butt. Crystal, say hi. Anyway, we'll leave the crystal cam on. There, crystal cam. Okay. So, developer Jason, so my brother Jason, has been working on a new tool for our platform, which our platform is where you can get access to all of the pre-calculated oil and gas valuations that we have on all the acreage across the U.S. You can get access to that, apply it to your own minerals, gain our insights, and use those insights to guide what you do with your minerals and how do you manage it? How do you prioritize what to work on next and what to pay attention to? How do you not overreact? And how do you, plan for those taxes and plan for those estate transfers and all those things? So in that portfolio tool, we've been working towards growing our audit tool. So now we have let's see if I can, so again, very, very sneak peek. Not even really gonna more than poke around. This is a very early stage audit where you can upload your data, upload your check stubs and your information. It'll take the wells from the check stubs and then compare it to the wells that it's in your portfolio. And then you can compare both the wells that you're getting paid on, the amount you're getting paid on those wells, the operators for those wells. Did the operator change? Is there a well that you're missing? Is there a revenue that is dramatically different than what we think you should be getting paid? And then you can dig into why. If there is a well that you're getting paid on that's not in our system, it probably means that you're missing a tract somewhere. So you might have a legal description that you're missing, which could mean that there's a whole deed out there that you don't know about that you're attached to, but you haven't found it to apply that. So I'm really excited about this. I think this was his like Christmas project that he's been working on. He can demo it better than I can, but you know, I'm real excited about this. And then we can also take that then and extend our alerts to include more things as opposed to just, you know, hey, this well changed in value, this well changed operator, this well changed statuses. Then we can actually, you know, let you know, hey, you're not being paid on these wells, and this is a pretty big well, and you should probably look into that. And since we know the contact information for these people, we can say, hey, here's who you should contact, here's what you should do. I'm pretty excited about this. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Well, I don't have to go a whole hour today. I just thought I really like talking to y'all and answering questions. So let's see. I think I do have one more thing. Okay. Did anyone get any surprising end of year correspondence from the operators yet? Usually the end of year is when your shut-in payments will happen if they owe you any shut-in payments. Sometimes it's the only time you'll see a check is the end of the year when they top up their payments. If you look at your division order, let's see. A lot of y'all might not have access to the division orders anymore, but if you look at an example, I guess, division order, it'll say language like at a minimum of $100 that we owe you, or once a year you'll receive a check. So sometimes people only receive a check once a year on their wells from a certain operator, and you do have the option of like striking through that, and instead of it saying $100, you can strike through that and say $25. That usually changes it. Again, I don't have stats on how often that doesn't change it. I'm sure it's pretty often that they just go with things. Okay. Martha, you're asking, what do we need in hand for pecan? Look, see, Crystal abandoned me. Well, fine. I'll turn off my crystal cam. So, the in hand for pecan, it really, we kind of meet you wherever you are. I would say at a minimum, if you're getting paid on any wells, having something that shows that payment. Not that we need evidence of it, but just there's a lot of helpful information on those statements that helps us kind of pinpoint which well and how much you have in that well and what type of interest you have. The next thing would be if you have any other software that you've ever tracked something in, whether that's Excel. We've had people do QuickBooks dumps and send it to us, and that's actually pretty useful because it's any type of structured data is helpful. And then if you're using something like Mineralware or OG Trust or any of those other software systems that are out there to manage your minerals, we do integrate with almost all of those companies. the ones I can think of, we can integrate really easily with, or we're already integrated with in some form or fashion. There's some of the platforms have a geometry that they can send over, and that makes it really easy to build in and get integrated. Other ones, it's if you just have a legal description of, like, here's what my deed says that I own, we can either help you plug that in, we can just give you a tour of how to do it, we can set stuff up. If any of this stuff looks useful today, really the next step I would recommend would be a one-on-one call just to go over your particular needs. We'd love to schedule a demo. I mean, that sounds salesy, but it really is the best way to go over your specific use cases and what you need. We are still offering our free mineral checkup sessions. I'm going to extend that through the holiday season, probably go another week. So if you're watching this live stream, even if you're watching the replay, we're going to keep with the keyword jazz. So if you just email me and mention the word jazz, I will play our jazz music to make it make sense as to why. I have no particular affiliation with this music. I just last time the live stream before Christmas, we did the jazz music was the keyword that got you the super secret special mineral checkup. So we are offering special mineral checkups. I'm calling them a checkup just because if you have a question, we can go over that question. But if you don't, I'd love to just walk through what you have and how it's organized, and if there's anything that you could be doing better. Not from like a you should be doing better type of format, but just as a casual observer of how your particular minerals are and how they're organized and what might be going on. That is our free holiday giveaway. That is available still if you email me. Just say that you watched the live stream. Again, even if it's the replay, happy to honor that through the holiday season. So this is, if you're really watching this later, this is the 2025 holiday season. So maybe not next year's holiday season. Totally different things will be going on, I'm sure. Let's see. What else should we talk about? Some of the lights that you will be seeing probably next week in the background are from said Manor 2005. He had some really good Christmas gifts this year. So. Happy New Year, yes. So we end up just watching the New Year at home. I think it was for 4th of July or last New Year's, we went to like the local fireworks stand and got one of those like kit things. It was a gingerbread man, so it makes me think it was New Year's, but then it could be any time of year, right? And that was pretty fun. Like, we felt pretty safe. It had just rained, and I don't remember exactly. But that was pretty fun. We might do something like that for the kids for New Year, but probably all from home. We'll do kind of a rapid fire of a couple frequently asked questions just as we're wrapping up. It's been a trend the last couple live streams for like someone to just slide in a question right at the last 5 minutes. So I'll leave that open, and we'll just rapid fire a couple Q&As, FAQ Q&As. That's too many letters. So let's see. So you can cover anywhere in the U.S. Short answer is we don't just cover it. We already have value. on everywhere in the U.S. So a lot of times valuation firms will say that they are, cover the whole U.S. And what they're really meaning is that if you have a question anywhere in the U.S., we can tackle it and we can put our engineers on it and we can solve it. We are already doing the whole U.S. So if your acreage has oil and gas on it or any type of interest, it's already on our radar. It's already has a value. It's just a matter of that's our starting point. So there's always going to be those unique situations that can't be considered or aren't yet considered. That's what appraisals and that's what expert, eyes on things are. But we're able to get it up to speed really quickly because of our valuation model that already has those pre-calculated numbers on everything. Oh, that wasn't very rapid. I'm not great at rapid fire. Okay. Isn't this just Zillow for minerals? So yes, it kind of is, where, in the same sense that you can go and see what your house is worth on Zillow with the Zillow's estimate, you can go and do that on our platform the same way, where you can go in and check what the current Zillow's estimate equivalent is for your minerals. The difference kind of stops there, though, because Zillow is taking a lot of comps in their own kind of like secret sauce model. Ours is there's no comps that go into ours, and it's also the same valuation methodology that the Society of Petroleum Evaluation Engineers recommends and uses for companies all the way up to like Shell, Chevron, Exxon level. Like, this is how the society who says how to do this says to do it. So we're doing it by the book, the way you're supposed to value oil and gas. And that's why it's similar but different than Zillow. Does it replace an appraisal? And I will say that actually is a pretty common question, that the oil and gas values that we provide on our platform do not replace an appraisal. So we specifically don't call it an appraisal for that reason. If you do need an appraisal for tax or legal purposes, we do recommend putting, we start there, and that gives us a really quick starting point to like get up to speed and make the most of our engineers' time. But really, the engineering skill and experience that can affect the value beyond what can be pulled out of data just on the surface is also valuable. Of course, we're always building more into our tool. It's a constantly developing platform, but always that is the recommendation, that if you need something that you are making a specific service, specific decision, or if you're paying taxes on, or if there's a legal matter involved, always get a professional to at least do a once over of the numbers. A lot of times, especially if you have a real simple portfolio, real simple situation, it is just a matter of us looking over your inputs and looking over the outputs and being like, yep, that looks good. All right, check. And it's just a very small hourly rate. While other times it is a complete like digging through all the pieces and lifting up all the rocks and looking for all the value, because some portfolios just really warrant that amount of attention. Here we have, do you provide landman services in DeSoto Parish, Louisiana? I'm trying to figure out how unopened succession works. So we ourselves do not provide landman services, but we do have landman, and we know ones that are in Louisiana. And unopened succession, that I'd have to even familiarize myself on that process. Like, I'm familiar enough to be dangerous, but not familiar enough to explain it in a live stream, So, yeah. So our group, we do have landmen that we contract with, because we have a lot of people who come in who either don't know what they own, or they have title work that needs to be done, or operators that need to be contacted, or mapping that needs to be done. So We have like GIS experts and land experts and attorneys that we work with all the time. Always looking to find great ones to work with. So I'll, love to make a connection if you're watching this. But yeah, we can always hook you up with some of our favorites, but we are not directly connected to anyone. That said, we are happy to subcontract if you'd rather just work with one group and you're looking to go towards an appraisal or looking to get your stuff into our platform. We can subcontract that stuff, and so you're only having to work with one contact through all of that. Okay. I don't think my rapid fire was actually that rapid, but we got through a couple questions. And all right, last chance for anyone that wants to ask something. Recommendation would be greatly appreciated. Okay, great. If you could email, I think I put my email in the pinned chat. Nope, I didn't. I think my email is just like scattered everywhere across this YouTube, but in case it's not, go ahead and send me an email there, and I'll get you the references that we have for that area. Okay. Well, with that, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful and happy and healthy and safe and blessed New Year. Oh, look, we have a Crystal joining us once again. So y'all get the Crystal Cam on the outro. How about that? So we got Crystal Cam on the outro. You're welcome. And thanks for joining us today. We do this every Tuesday at noon Central Time. So same time, same place next week. I'll let you know if I'm out of town or something. But so far we've been able to maintain this through the holidays. Yeah. I'm not planning anything yet that takes me off commission. So looking forward to talking to all y'all next week, and adios.